Welcome to the broadcast. This is a ministry of Reformation Bible Puritan Baptist Church, of which I am the elder bishop. And one of the purposes of the church is not only to preach the gospel to whosoever will, but to expose the Jesuit papacy as the font of evil in the earth, and that it has ruined historic white Anglo-Saxon Protestant Western civilization, as well as included all the liberal Roman Catholics in their annihilation. So we wish to expose the Jesuit order, and today we have a very special program. I have with me one of my advisors, Brother Walt Williams, who you hear every Wednesday and Thursday, but also I have with me Victor Perrilo. Victor Perrilo is a playwright in Hollywood, and he has put together what is called the Lambert Chronicles, which you will find utterly fascinating, and this is the topic for which we have this special broadcast today. So, Brother Walt, welcome to the broadcast.
Glad to be here, brother. Thank you for inviting me.
And Victor, are you with us now? No, Victor will be calling in. And he should be calling in shortly. So meantime, what I'll do is just give a brief introduction. I was sent an email by Mr. Perrilo, American Army major in World War II named Warren Lambert. Warren Lambert was a judge at Nuremberg. Warren Lambert spoke both German and English. And so the Jesuits at Nuremberg, in the person of Jesuit Edmund Walsh, and one of his agents at a Georgetown University that was completely in charge of all the translation work there at Nuremberg, so they could censor out everything that had to do with Pope Pius XII and the Jesuit involvement in the SS and the Eurasian Jewish Holocaust. This Mr. Warren Lambert had his own private notes and diary, and it was recently discovered by his grandson in an attic. And these notes fully expose Pius XII as the major Jew baiter and hater of the impetus behind the Eurasian Jewish Holocaust, and of course Pius XII's immediate master, Jesuit Superior General Vladimir Ledorchowski. But Walt, you had called and talked with Victor. And, well, Victor, you're here. Maybe I don't know where it's from, but...
Should I try on another number, or...
No, this number's fine. But if you're listening to the radio in the background...
No, I'm not.
Turn it down.
No, I'm not.
Okay. All right, well, hopefully it'll get resolved. I don't know if it's on your end, Walt, or whatever, but...
All right.
Okay, well, Victor, welcome to the broadcast. And I was giving a brief introduction how you sent me an email concerning Warren Lambert. So why don't you just take over and tell us about Warren Lambert and his grandson that you met and this tremendous diary that's come into your hands.
About 9-10 years ago, I had the opportunity to meet Andy Woodowist, who was the grandson of Warren Lambert, Major Warren Lambert. And Major Warren Lambert was one of the 8 judges elected by and assigned by during the Holocaust, after the Holocaust. And for years, the collection and so forth of his notes, his diaries, and his personal records was kept at Hazel Lambert's home in Michigan. And unbeknownst to the grandson, until one day he discovered it. He had the presence of mind to take the collection and get it approved and get it authorized, and he, could have done incredible things with it. It's estimated to be worth over $5 million. And he took it and donated it to the Zeller Holocaust Museum. This is truly the grandson of a great man. Certainly the blood runs in the family. What is fascinating about the collection and about the man is that he took meticulous notes during the trials, notes that clearly, specifically indicate the presence of the gas chambers and so forth, and that nobody could deny because these were the testimonies given by the SS officers when they were on trial. He also encouraged the survivors at the camps to write their own testimonies and documents, and all of this was in the collection. In addition, there are hundreds of pages of handwritten notes that he took at the infinitesimal time that the trial was going on, and in his handwriting. So it's so amazing that it's kept all these years, and it was a question of providence for, not a question, but it was providence that Mr. Woodowitz came across this collection and brought it forward to us. And he did it diligently, and he's been patient with it to get it out. I met him and transferred all the notes into a theatrical movie, a play for the stage, a docudrama, and a book, as well as a trailer and so forth.
Now you're a Hollywood playwright, correct?
Well, my background is all in the theater from New York, and I've done nothing else but show business. I was an agent for 20 years. I was Gary Coleman's agent, the young boy that died last year, the child actor from Different Strokes. I know the power of drama, and you know, we could write books and so forth, and when you see the characters live on stage or on film and in a television movie of the week, and you see them talking, and we bring to life 3 different storylines. And I talk about what this man was at the time he lived and what was going on in that era, was that there were 3 storylines. There was not only was Warren Lambert, a man who came from, he's every man. He worked his way up to the knowledge he had. He was not a lawyer or a judge. He studied the Uniform Code of Military Justice while he was in the service. He was fluent in German, and he was outspoken, and he took notes from the beginning. His wife is just as much a hero because she was with Hazel Lambert, was with him throughout the whole trials. She, through the years, gave Andy notes on their life together and what was going on in Germany. She was an amazing character. So that the notes that I put together for this piece, this project, come from all the sources that were in the collection, as well as from the conversations that Andy had with his grandmother, and put it all together. And you know the term, all the dots connect, and they always do. So what is it that's fascinating about this story? Is it just another Holocaust story, or is it about the life and times that this man lived in, to be outspoken and to take notes, so that we, 60 years later, can put the dots together and take a look at what he did and what he recorded? So there's 3 storylines going on. I talk about the people that did not come to the rescue of the Jews that could have, and the Vatican, the Jesuits, one, and the other storyline is what happened at the State Department. And this is not a question of was there anti-Semitism in the State Department, or was there anti-Semitism with Ficelli, the Pope, Pius XII. There was. And when the audience leaves this theater, whether they see it in the play, or they see it in a movie theater, or they watch the docudrama, it hopefully will inspire all of us to say, you know, when we see evil, we have to speak out, and we have to say it. And we saw what Lambert did, and we saw that the voice of truth can hardly be heard above a whisper, but the sound of evil is broadcast on the loudspeakers of Satan. You know, I mean, every time somebody talks and speaks out about what the reason why Hitler was aided and abetted, and the people that did it, it's silence. It's a very difficult project to get produced. And
of course.
The reason is,
the Jesuits, as you know, the Jesuits are running Hollywood, and that's one of their great secrets. They don't want the world to know that they were the masterminds behind the Eurasian Jewish Holocaust.
There's no question about it, and there's no question about that. I will tell you that in lieu of what you said about, and I'm out here and I'm facing that battle all the time. It is amazing the people that read it for the first time, who are not the executives at the film companies, but in a second position, and are very excited, and then 3 or 4 days later call back in their voice.
I understand that completely. As I mentioned before, when I was talking with a Japanese correspondent about the Jesuits being in charge of detonating the atomic bombs on the ground, they were assembled on the ground, and Curtis LeMay dropped the magnesium flash bombs to make it look like it were atomic detonations, but the detonations took place on the ground by the Jesuits, overseen by Pedro Rupe. She was happy about it, wanted to interview me, and all of a sudden, nope, that's it.
Yeah. Well,
so that's one way we know we're on target.
We're on target, and you know what? I think we may have discussed this, but why is it that when somebody tells the truth, you see, we are labeled as people not too bright, nutcases, conspiracy theories. See, the truth is the truth. It is what it is. The truth is the truth. It never disguises itself as nonsense. Right. It never disguises. It is there, and the difference is that when you tell the truth, you have so many different. I did a lot of research on this, and as you do, and in your work. But it is amazing when you you come away
and another example of this, of persecuting these authors, is Robert Stinnett. Robert Stinnett wrote the great work of Day of Deceit, the truth about FDR and Pearl Harbor. And this was a brilliant man, who was there at Pearl Harbor at the time, and he proved that the Office of Naval Intelligence helped engineer and organize the Japanese invasion of Pearl Harbor, and which ultimately resulted in the justification for the U.S. entering World War II. So he was shouted down, and we can expect this. But I have some questions, Victor, with regard to your manuscript. Now, you've put together a play called The Lambert Chronicles.
Right.
And is it in production now, or how are you coming with it?
I've finished the script and the book and the movie script. I finished the theater script, the movie script, and the book, and it's all the story of Warren Lambert. And these days, it's not the old Hollywood where you could sit down with producers that knew how to read scripts. Today, if the project is not put together and they're not attachments to it, they don't read it. If it's not formatted according to certain software, they don't read it. And I've been in this industry a long time. When I sat at NBC and sold 7 movies a week with people that understood what you were talking about, the days of Norman Lear and David Susskind from the years past in the 50s are gone. However, I believe that if the story is told in a little theater in anywhere in Michigan, in Philadelphia, that it will get such press because it is so outrageously controversial, and controversy, as you know, gets attention and gets people talking. So I can't sit here when people say to me, Vic, you're writing about an issue that you're talking about the Jesuits, you're talking about these people that are very powerful. Are you fearful? The nature of this script is about a man that was not fearful. And it was about the fact that we were complicit and we were complacent in the 30s and the 40s when all of this was going on in Germany. We were fearful, and nobody spoke about this. The New York Times, the Chicago Tribune, the Chicago newspapers, anytime they were reporting any news that was coming out of Germany about the concentration camps, it was buried on page 50 and 60. And largely.
Right. Well, the reason for that is that the Council on Foreign Relations was and is today in control of the press.